Welcome to the Social University Podcast. We are so glad you're joining us today because we want to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and people just like you who want to build their business online. Listen, if we can do it, you can do it. So let's go.
Good morning. I'm Karen Travis with Social U, and I want to welcome you to What's Up Wednesday, where we talk about social media and digital marketing tips, tricks, and trends. It has been an interesting year for social media. A lot of times we tend to focus on the negative. So for the next few weeks, I want to look at the more positive side. Today, we're going to talk about some of the best moments that social media provided us in 2024. Next week, we're going to talk about mistakes made and lessons learned. And then the last week of the 18th, we're going to talk about social media trends and then predictions for 2025. I love this segment. We do it every single year. I like to go back and see if what was predicted actually happens, which I think I probably will cover some in lessons learned about trends and predictions from the previous year to see if they actually manifested. And pretty accurately there have been some mistakes, but truly pretty accurate. So, I always find that interesting, but that's just me. So I want to talk about some of the better things that have happened in social media this year, because again, there's just so much negative, and it's been an election year and each side's been talking about the other side. So I want to get into what's good about it. So, okay, let's go ahead and jump in. Massachusetts Cafe, there's 10 of these. They're in no particular order, although I do think the last one is my favorite. So just that being said, Massachusetts Cafe offers free coffee if you come in dancing. It is one of the most innocent, heartwarming things that you can watch online, because so many people, all different people, all different ages, and the way they enter the cafe and the different kinds of dancing they do, it's adorable. And what a fun idea to get people not only to come in, but it generates content for you and your business. It makes them happy. It makes you happy. It makes other people who are watching it happy. So it's just a very win-win situation. Love it. And if you are following us, we will blog about this. There will be a link for each one of these examples. So if you want to watch a video of the people dancing to the cafe, definitely just give us a couple of hours to get it posted, but there'll be a link to the blog, which will have links to all of this built in, so you can check it out on your own. It's adorable. Number 2, a goat named Mr. Joshua. There was this goat ends up running a marathon. Part of the marathon route goes through a very rural area of this town. And the runners passed a local business called Taylor's Pumpkin Patch. Well, they have a resident goat named Mr. Joshua. And when the runners went past the pumpkin patch, the goat decided, well, I'm not staying behind. So he got into the marathon and started running. And when his owner realized what was happening, he joined him for the last part of the race so he could make sure that he crossed the finish line. And it's very heartwarming. It brought a lot of attention to the farm. It brought a lot of attention to the town in a very positive way. Just very sweet, very heartwarming, innocent. Number 3, this one moves me because, of course, I'm a mom. And I've had this moment before. Moms are leaving gift cards in stores in the diaper aisle for relief for other mothers, particularly postpartum relief. So this whole story began when a Nashville mom, Denisha Gonzalez, went to Target and had a very interesting moment. She was walking down a diaper aisle and she saw a silver clutch purse that had been placed on the shelf with the baby supplies. And as a mother herself, she recognized what had happened. She picked up the clutch, which was just $20. It was not a super expensive item, but it meant that mom gave up something that she wanted in order to provide for her child or her children. And Miss Gonzalez posted a video of it on her TikTok account, which went super viral and launched an entire movement of other women, other moms, hiding gift cards and money inside of items on the baby aisle so that moms who are struggling, moms who need relief, moms who need assistance will find it. So they left. It's happened all over the country. She has started a trend. I want to tell you the hashtag is you deserve the purse, or she deserves the purse, so that people will connect and engage with moms will help and engage with each other. This was so incredibly sweet. And as someone who's been, a struggling parent, kind of do it on their own and having to make decisions between, can I buy this or can I buy that? That's heartwarming to me. I can relate to this. Amazing. Number 4, an art historian discovers a long lost post of Henry VIII and a background of social media post. And these posts are from everywhere. Some of these happened on TikTok. Some of these happened on Instagram. Some of them happened on Twitter. So it's not just one platform. This is happening all over the place. This particular story is from Twitter, and it takes place with a person in the UK, an art consultant and historian, saw a post on Twitter and happened to notice there's a long lost work of art hanging up in the background. It was in the judge's room of Shire Court in Warwickshire, England, where the Lord Lieutenant of Warwickshire was hosting a little party, a little gathering, and posted a picture, and the historian saw it online. He actually went to the home where the Lord Lieutenant lived and asked if he could verify, and lo and behold, it's a work of art that everyone thought was lost, that is incredibly expensive, incredibly invaluable. But what an interesting find to just notice that. I mean, what are the odds of it popping up on his news feed and him not only noticing it, but taking the time to check it out, make sure it's valid? Just very cool. Number 5, shy senior lands a modeling career in her 70s. There is an Irish woman, Anne Flanagan, who had never modeled before and always thought of herself as a serious person. She couldn't possibly qualify to be a model, but she had a chance meeting with a photographer in Belfast. She was in a public park, a public space, and this photographer she saw coming toward her with a camera. This woman happens to be 70 years old. Thought the man needed directions because tourists are constantly asking for directions. So she was, waiting for him to ask kind of how to get where he wanted to be. So Christopher Ward is a professional photographer, and he wasn't approaching her to ask for directions. He wanted to take her picture and put it on Instagram. He runs a page called Model Strangers. He wanted to take her picture. So once he showed her the account and let her know, this is what I do, would it be okay if I took your picture and posted it? She agreed. And that one picture went mega viral and ended up with her going, having an offer and a contract. She's now a professional model represented by a modeling agency. She has a clothing brand and has a gig for a shopping center fashion show. She just immediately snapped up as a model, and she's a lovely woman, but apparently senior models are hard to find. And she was, again, snapped up immediately. Just, again, a heartwarming story. Okay, this story might have made me a little teary. Okay, it made me a lot teary. It's incredibly sweet. 700 cats were rescued after a TikTok user finds a Texas tabby and rescues a sanctuary. Okay, so this man Spencer is the brains behind, actually the person who's doing it behind the scenes of SB Mowing on TikTok and YouTube, where he documents his hobby of finding people in need who can't mow their own lawns and then offering to do it for them for free. He has a following and he records it. It's a hyperlapse. People watch it. It's, of course, super endearing. And he has an audience of about 15 million people. It's a great way to show kindness and, paying it forward. So he was in Corpus Christi doing what he does, offering, finding an overgrown yard to mow and make it look pretty. And he was fighting something that was terribly overgrown when he found a little tiny tabby, little kitten with puncture marks from a fight with a dog or maybe even another cat. So he thought it looked dangerous, like it might be infected. So he called all the rescue centers in the area and to see if anyone would help. And they ended up naming her Esby. But only one reached back out to him, and it was Edgar's and Ivy's Cat Sanctuary and Rescue. So after he called all these different locations, Only one responded. So Edgar and Ivy is run by the director Anissa Beale, and she was falling into just a pit of financial hardship to fund the cat rescue center. She had vowed to call it quits. She couldn't imagine being able to turn it around. And she said if she didn't have any indication by the end of the year, if things didn't turn around, she was shutting it down for good. So Spencer took this cat to this rescue center and wrote later he had never seen so much passion put into helping other people and helping animals. And he gave them all the cash that he had in his pocket and a thank you for helping the cat because they did it at no charge. And he when nobody else would touch it. So he explained to the director that he has a large social media following, and if it was okay, he wanted to set up a GoFundMe to help fund her operation. And she didn't think anything of it. She thought it was a nice gesture, but it didn't occur to her that it would be, ever come to anything. But in a matter of a few days, the fundraiser shot up to $190,000. I think by now they've broken $200,000 in private donations. It catapulted the rescue, Edgar's Ivy and Cat Rescue mission, out of debt. And then the days that followed, some of the other folks who follow SB Mowing decided to pay for supplies and have their contributions recognized. And just when they thought it couldn't get any better, 4 truckloads of orders showed up at their front door. The director basically said that he saved them. He just kept praying for a signal, for some sort of sign to continue the rescue. And boy, was this it. This is incredibly heartwarming to me. There was over 700 animals rescued and saved because of this one person finding this one animal and asking for assistance. I love how that works. Number 7, YouTuber MrBeast, who you're probably familiar with. He's the most famous YouTuber on the planet. He helped remove 17,000 tons of ocean trash. That's mind-blowing to me. He is the world's most influential YouTuber. He has accomplished an incredible feat for crowdfunding after leading dozens of the top world's influencers to drive donations and volunteering towards the goal of cleaning up oceans and rescues. 34 million pounds of trash and plastic were removed from oceans and rivers all across the globe, with each dollar donated by a verified independent third party directly to remove 1 pound of trash. They partnered with Ocean Conservancy and Ocean Cleanup and launched Team Seas, S-E-A-S, like sea, like the ocean initiative, which brought together hundreds of voices with large followings on social media who all channeled harnessed their channels for good. 34 million pounds of trash and plastic were removed. That is mind-boggling to me. So when you have a large following, it is shocking what you can do with it if you put your mind to it. But what a great thing. Number 8, this one again, it made me teary. It's called Fishing with Andy. This random TikToker was scrolling late at night, Carve TV, and they came across a YouTube channel where a fisherman had been making videos for years with barely any views. His name is Andy, and he called it Fishing with Andy. And he would get so excited, and he would show you how to fish, and he would post when he had a particularly good catch for the day. And no views, 0, maybe 1 or 2. So this person was so moved by how passionate and committed this man was to his hobby that he made a video and encouraged people to go like and follow the YouTube channel. And as a result, Fishing with Andy now has over 1 million subscribers and brought this man so much joy. He made a response video when people started following him and commenting on his videos where he's just crying because it's so incredibly profound. I mean, it had such a tremendous impact on his life because one person thought what he was doing was worthwhile and asked other people to see if they thought it was also worthwhile and started a movement, which is exactly what social media is about. I find this to be incredibly endearing. Number 9, this is one of my favorite things of all time. The dogs were good again this week. We Rate Dogs is the name of the account, and they do dog compilation videos once a week where they highlight the top 5 dogs or the top 10 dogs that do funny, amazing, or heroic things, and they highlight each dog in a video. Well, they have created a foundation called 15 out of 10 because they rate dogs, and so many dogs get a 15 out of 10. They have a foundation 15 out of 10 where the net proceeds of all their regularly priced merchandise goes to donate. They donate it to help shelter dogs who have medical issues be treated so that they're more adoptable, because dogs that have medical issues are very rarely adopted. So they are funneling that money back into their community, and everyone's community. They're not restricted geographically. Their merchandise says, "Tell your dog I said hi," which is so sweet. They have hats and t-shirts and all kinds of things. And the proceeds from that a percentage of the proceeds go to this 15 out of 10 foundation, so that if there is a dog that's been in a fight or has kidney failure, whatever the issue is, they can have the medical treatment and the medical attention that they need, that they deserve, so they can be adopted, which again is just incredibly amazing to me. And it's a great series of videos to watch. It's one of the accounts I follow on TikTok. We rate dogs. It's so sweet. And number 10, which is one of my favorite things that happened this year, the Olympics. This year, the Olympics was brought into everyone's living room in a different way. We had more behind the scenes than has ever been seen before. And we had representatives at the Olympics that gave us a perspective that we'd never encountered before. It became a lot more personal. There were a lot more people who engaged than it's very different than watching it on TV. So there was this huge movement across all platforms, but of course my favorite platform is TikTok. So that's where I participated. But you had these personalities like Snoop Dogg and Flava Flav who saw these people really pursuing their passions to compete, and they supported them not only physically by cheering them on, but they supported them financially. In case you were not aware, Flava Flav is a rapper, old school rapper, and he saw the U.S. women's water polo team and realized that they have to work full-time jobs. And while they're training for the Olympics, and he just didn't think that was right. So he sponsored them so they wouldn't have to worry about the cost. During the actual Olympics, he paid the rent for at least for a discus thrower who he met while he was at the Olympics, who was struggling financially because a lot of these athletes don't have sponsors, which is crazy to me, but it is what it is. So they got involved. Snoop and Flava Flav donated money for the Olympics to do what they needed to do. And it made us familiar with the Olympians, the people who committed on a much more personal level. Just one of my favorite examples is Alona Mar. It's the first time she medaled this year, but she's a rugby team player. And it took us from here's the United States rugby team to being able to focus on individual players and their own personal struggles and how they overcame them and their own stories. It's some of the most compelling behind the scenes footage ever. And just a great way to participate in the Olympics. It really got people invested. Me in particular, I loved it. It was one of my favorite parts about the Olympics, being able to see it from different perspectives, especially the athletes' perspectives. And it got me more. I would never in a million years have watched the shooting competition, but the Turkish silver medal winner, Yusuf Dikik, pardon any mispronunciation. It made it real. It made it more personal. It made it relatable. This guy just, this is not what he does for a living. He just wanted to compete. He won silver. Amazing to me. It, connected people to Steve who competed in the men's gymnastics for the pommel horse and just nailed it. And the pole vaulter who, we won't mention why he was famous, but again, it made it more personable. It made it more human, and it gave you an aspect that a lot of people would have never had the opportunity to engage. And it got to highlight a lot of other U.S. people from all countries, but the U.S. in particular, participating in the Olympics and helping sponsor these athletes and help move them forward. I love the Turkish silver medal winner. I know a hitman when I see one, 100%. He just showed up, pulled out his gun, and won a medal. Incredible, incredible. And again, we will provide links to each one of these items so you can go investigate for yourself. But just some of 2024 was hard. It was hard for a lot of people. But this part of social media makes my job worth doing. It reminds me that there are good people who want to help other people and help move them forward, which is what moves me forward. I like helping small business owners. I like helping nonprofits. That's why we give so much stuff away. That's why we have so many free webinars, because when I was a small business owner starting out, I would have loved to have someone help me with my marketing, and I didn't even know where to get started. So I want to help people who need the help. So I love this part of social media where you can see it. There's physical proof people are helping other people move forward. Love it. Please join us again next week. We're going to talk about lessons learned and a few mistakes that were made, some terrible mistakes that were made. So if you're into train wrecks, next week is the week for you. So join us for that. And until next week, I'm Karen Taradis with Social You, and I'm here to help. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for the Social University podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Stay Social U. That's the letter U. And we will talk to you next week. Remember, you've got this.